G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm of course Calflos, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Path of Champions with Jinx. We're going to be doing the chapter 1 of our campaign here. It's going to bring us to Piltover, where we're going to be taking on Ezreal, part of the Loose Cannon campaign. So, admittedly, this campaign is going to be kind of easy because this is one of the starting tutorial campaigns that you'll encounter. So yeah, chances are the enemies here are kind of weak, and the fact that, you know, we are already at a high level with Jinx as well as 3 star powers on her is essentially just going to make it even much easier for us. But, you know, it shouldn't matter because we're just here to focus on the storyline. Okay, so let's go ahead and just quickly walk you through what relics I'm running on Jinx. So I am going with the Stalker's Blade as well as the Ginsu's Rage Blade here, mainly because these two items are one of the more reliable options, and in fact these two items actually served me really well when I took on the Colossus, which is of course Galio's generic world adventure here with Jinx. So essentially these two items I highly recommend, and they are actually kind of good. So Ginsu's Rage Blade will grant a +1/+1 upon attack, and Stalker's Blade will strike the strongest enemy. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to see too much use of this because I don't think Jinx will be really necessary in this campaign. I'll show you why later on. Let's just go ahead and replay this adventure first. Alright, we are all loaded in, and Ezreal is of course our final boss. He seems to be in this Chemtech or Chempang Tower, if you like to call it, in Zone of course. So yeah, he is definitely something that we're gonna have to look out for. Anyway, let's come back to the start. We're gonna head to the first node and pick up a power. Alright, we get a higher education, you draw a card, give allies +1/+0, game start, summon an Empress die, and bouncing blades, round start, create a fleeting blades edge in hand. So, this was what I wanted to talk about earlier, so I'm just going to take a few minutes just to elaborate a little bit on this. For Jinx, the strategy here is mainly to get stuff that will essentially work well with a what's the worst that could happen 2 power, which will essentially deal 1 to the enemy Nexus and 1 to a random enemy each time you play or discard a card. So anything with fleeting is actually going to work really well here. I do recommend the bouncing blades because this is one of the powers that I used against Galio in the the world adventure, like I said. So yeah, this actually worked really well to our advantage, so I am gonna pick this up here. Alright, let's head to the first node against the Golden Crushbot. Aw, a lost little Crushbot. How do you do, my Robo Pal? Kill, crush, destroy. It's always the same with you guys. Kill, crush, destroy. I don't know what I was expecting. Alright, so no powers here, so let's go ahead and just take him on. Okay, we are off to a good start. We get 2/2 costs here, and ideally we're not going to reroll anything because we have also the Wreak Havoc, which will give us 1 starting mana plus 1 starting mana, so essentially we could get a turn 2 on turn 1. So yeah, I'm going to keep this hand. Kill, crush, destroy. I heard you the first time. Alright, let's bring on the rocket board. So yeah, you might have noticed that the fleeting card discarded at the end of the round and essentially dealt 1 damage. This is why you should probably try to get some fleeting powers for the Jinx deck. In my opinion at least, it works really well. So yeah, let's go ahead and just bring on a... Let's bring on a Boom Kuruki. I know we're giving up the Ephemeral here, but it should be fine.
I can do this.
Or actually, we don't even need to do that, to be fair. We can just play this. We can play a second one next turn. Probably need to do this. There we go. Okay, so I think here we're just gonna pick up a Chump one. Our choice here doesn't really matter because we are severely over level. However, if you are attempting this for the first time, you might want to be a little bit more thoughtful. But in our scenario, in our condition, in our case, we're just gonna pick up whatever I think is useful. So the Chump one looks good, so I'm just gonna pick him up. Okay, let's move on into the support champion here. So we get... Okay, we get a very good champion right on the bat. We get Draven, which will essentially work well with Jinx because of the discards, of course. So I am going to pick him up. And admittedly, this might be one of the quickest episodes on the channel. Okay, let's see if we could, make that reality. Let's go ahead and move down to the Stinky Wump because there's a shop note here. And I think I value this a little bit more than the gold chest. Bump goes the Wump. When one of the player's units dies, plant a poison puff cap on a random card in the player's deck. Okay, so I think what we're gonna do here is we might just keep this hand. This isn't too bad. I know we don't get a 2 cost, but I can just bring on a jury rig, no problem at all. Eek. You said it, pal. Okay, this is actually good. We get a eager apprentice here. Let's bring him on.
How can I help?
Let's drop a jury rig. Let us do a Blade's Edge as well. Get the maximum damage each round. The maximum possible damage. Feasible damage. Okay, I think we'll just attack with this.
Excuse me?
Drop a Blade's Edge to the Nexus. I probably don't need to point this out, but in case anyone's watching and you notice that the Blade's Edges are doing, well, 2 damage, that's because each time we discard, sorry, not discard, each time we play a card, it's gonna deal 1 to the enemy Nexus, and 1 plus the Blade's Edge from the 1. Essentially, it's a 2 damage Blade's Edge. Okay, so, Chump Wump here, Clump of Wumps, I should say, 2-2. I think we're just gonna bring on Jinx and, take him out.
Jinx?
There we go. Doesn't matter. Let's just do a Blade's Edge here. We should win next turn.
Smile! It's called gunplay.
Okay, I think we're just gonna pick up the Daring Burrow here. Quick attack seems good. And we're gonna move on into the shop node. Alright, let's pick up a power here. We get a rush them down when you summon an ally, give it +1/+1 this round. We can reroll this, it's fine. We don't really need to save up on rerolls here. Just want to see if we can get something a little bit more aggressive. Empress die doesn't seem mag. Let's reroll one more time. When you draw a card, give allies +1/+0. Why the hell not? I'm not gonna be too, thoughtful with our decision here. Anything actually works kind of well with Jinx. So yeah, I'm just gonna pick up what I feel is right. Okay, let's head to the loose cannon here. Pick up an item for her. When Jinx is summoned, create the loose cannon. And actually, we should read the text first. Pachu, a rocket border zooms by before hitting a nearby wall, spilling out bullets and bombs everywhere. Oh my god, you wonder. Is this heaven? That sounds a lot like Jinx. Okay, so we're just gonna pick up the loose cannon here. It's gonna give us a loose cannon, every time we summon her. And essentially it would be a cost reduction of 2 and 1 to the enemy Nexus, which is kind of cool. Okay, so let's head to the item chest, I guess. The use cast salesman, I don't think is that great, but again, it shouldn't really matter. But we're gonna take on the practical perfectionist and pick up an item chest. Duplication glitch. When any player summons a unit that is already in play, granted +1 and +1. Again, not a bad start. I think we'll just keep this hand. We don't have to bring on the Bunker Rookie. We don't want to waste the Ephemeral, but if we do bring him on, it's up to us, ideally. So yeah, I think we'll just keep this. Ever fought a girl and a clone before? I'm not sure. But there's a first time for everything. You actually get Draven here, which is kind of cool. I am going to bring on the Blade's Edge, however, just deal to the enemy Nexus. Let's bring on the Daring Poro. The second Draven, cool, we'll bring him on. We'll bring on the first one. Alright, let's attack with this. We can do a spinning axe, and I think we'll discard the Jury Rig. That way we could deal actually, you know, 1 extra damage.
Now we're cooking.
Nice. Blade's Edge next turn and we should win.
All me. And maybe those other guys. Whatever.
Alright, so I actually forgot about the two fleetings in our hand there. So yeah, this is why I say if you get a fleeting power with Jinx, it's basically, well, insanely overpowered, at least in my opinion. So yeah, if you're having trouble with Galio, possibly consider picking that up. Something with fleeting, that would work really, really well. Okay, in our case here, we have to get 2 copies of a card. I think we'll just pick up the Shock Blast. Why the hell not? Healer Nexus equal to my cost seems nice. So we're gonna go ahead and go to the item chest here. And I think we'll just pick up an upgrade to the Daring Poro. +1/+1 on a 1 cost elusive is not bad. And we'll head to the final shop node. Let's buy a power. When allies attack nab 1, let's reroll this, use up the final reroll. We get another Fleeting Blade's Edge, which is actually kind of good, so I am going to pick it up. And ideally, I don't think we need any cards because, you know, even though we have the excess gold, we don't really need anything to take on Ezreal here. We are already mopping the floor, ideally. So I think we're just going to ignore it and move on. Let's ignore the healer as well because we don't need the health. Let's take on Ezreal. Alright, this has got to be the place. Smells like old stuff. Oil, brass, people. Excuse me, do you know where the expo hall is? Who's asking? Oh, just an intrepid explorer looking to get his hands on, study some ancient firearms. You know, for historical reasons. Oh yeah? Historical reasons, huh? Well, it's a good thing you're about to be history.
Quest accepted. Wait, where are we going?
The young man in front of you tosses blonde hair out of his eyes in a smooth practice motion that makes you think he's trying to exercise his charm on you. Too bad. You don't really care. Okay, so target practice, game start, the foe summons in Ezreal. Okay, this is a good start. Daring Poro, and we are probably gonna get 2 Fleeting Blade's Edges there, so we don't really need to reroll this. We can talk this out, can't we? Just let me see the old guns first, and they belong in a museum. Wait, no, sorry. They belong in my junk collection. Okay, I think a bit of change of plans here. No, actually no change of plans. We'll bring on the Daring Poro. Alright, I am actually gonna do 1 Blade's Edge here. I don't think the AI will block with this, but we'll, we'll just see if it does.
Obstacle? Meet Gauntlet. No way.
Apparently it does. Alright, we actually might have the win next turn. Let's drop a Eager Apprentice first.
How can I help?
We'll do a Blade's Edge, and we'll do another. And we do win next turn. 6 damage.
me?
Alright, so this is arguably one of the more faster episodes on the channel because again, this is an easy campaign and the fact that we have Jinx at an insanely high level and the powers are ideally really overpowered for this, particular match, basically overkill essentially. So yeah, that's why we ended things so quickly. Anyway, let's not, worry too much about that. Let's go ahead and just head back to the main menu. Okay guys, we are back and of course that is Jinx's chapter 1 complete, so that means we can move on into our chapter 2 and it's gonna bring us to Nexus where we're gonna be taking on Darius. We'll leave that for the next episode, but before we go, I just want to talk a little bit about this where I think is kind of interesting to some degree. So yeah, of course in the Vi chapter we know that Vi took on Swain, which is arguably something like the, well, elder statesman of Nexus. Of course, I am very careful not to say the leader of Nexus because I know for a fact that Nexus is governed by 3 leaders essentially: Grand General Jericho Swain, Commander Darius, and I believe another one which is the someone called the Faceless One or the Nameless One. I can't remember, but anyway, what I'm trying to get at here is that I find it interesting because Vi being the elder sister and all is taking on somewhat of the elder statesman of Nexus, if you will, and Jinx being the younger sister is taking on, to some degree, at least in from the way I look at it, it's like the second in command of Nexus in terms of Darius. I don't think that's a really accurate description, but I think you know what I'm trying to get at here. So hopefully I got the the message conveyed over nicely. But anyway, we are gonna leave all that for some for the next episode because we are running out of time. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode of the Path of Champions here with Jinx, and if you did, consider leaving a like as well as subscribing to the channel. Really do appreciate the support here, but most importantly, it's so that you don't miss future episodes or uploads of single player playthroughs of content just like this one. And with that being said, this is Keflo signing off. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for joining me as well. Hopefully I catch you all in the next one. Goodbye.